Just waiting for it to kick in. There we go. Hey Joey, thanks for coming. Trying a different camera angle. If I could talk today, I'd be doing good. Hey Riggs. Kind of cut some stuff off there. I don't know if that's a good angle or not. Hey John, I seen you at the track today. Hopefully it went well. Did you break anything? So, Joe, did you get my message, buddy? I can't believe that I put that in the post and then I forgot one piece when I broke it down to ship it to you. And I'm gonna have to ship it out to you tomorrow. So there'll be one part of it that's gonna show up separate. I lost the spring retainer. Which spring retainer? The one for around the exhaust? I was cleaning up the shop today and I picked up that one piece and I was like, God damn it, I can't believe I forgot that. Here, I'm just gonna move you guys back just a smidge. Just bottom spring holder on the shop. Oh, shitty. You never seem to find them either. I'll move it back just a bit because it's kind of cutting my head off. I don't really care if it cuts my head off as much as I care what it looks like for the RC car. There, we'll see how that looks. That's better. There. So this is that Duratrax Raz that I picked up on eBay. This happened to be the body that Dimitri sent me with that USA 1, and so I did some mods to it and kind of made it fit. And so this is the body that I wanted. I do have to put a wing on it, and I got to figure out engine mounts, and then it'll be ready to go. And then I noticed that the brake shoes on these old things were actually chunks of cardboard. So I'm gonna have to pull the center diff out, and I have some carbon fiber brake shoes that'll fit because it uses the same brake shoes as an OFNA. So it should be should be good. The thing is in pretty good shape. I mean, I stuck wheels and tires on it, just so it's a roller. It came with the pipe. I have lots of headers and stuff, so I'll be able to make that work. I got to figure out what engine mounts I can stick in this thing to put an engine in it. So that'll be good. The suspension seems pretty decent on it. And I got servos and stuff coming because this is a shitty old Duratrack servo. So that should be good. That'll be a project for next week for sure. I'm gonna have to dig through boxes and try and find some engine mounts that'll work. Yeah, and I was gonna say, and hopefully that engine that maybe I'm doing a trade with Joe there on, you guys will see in the future that this will be the home for that thing. So it'll be way overpowered, but it'll be super fun. So we're doing, just so you guys know, we're doing a bit of a swap. Joe's got an awesome engine, which I won't disclose, that's brand new, that he's going to trade me for a kit, and I sent him a kit, and he doesn't know what one I sent him. So it's a mystery on his end, but I know what engine he's sending me. So it'll be fun to see. It'll be a fun trade. He just said pick something and send it to me, and I said okay. So I picked something and sent it to him. So it'll be pretty cool. It's in the mail now, except for I have to send the one piece that I forgot because I took it off to bring it down for shipping, and so it'll be pretty awesome. I'm looking forward to the trade. It'll be super fun. So yeah, it'll stay tuned. I'm sure Joe will love it when he gets it. I have a hard time believing that there'll be many of those in Europe. So it'll be interesting to see when he gets it. It'll be pretty fun. But yeah, this one should be, like I said, the suspension seems pretty decent on it, really. It's got good dampening. I'll clean it up a bit. Like I said, I'll pull the center diff out, go through all that, and then this one it'll be pretty good, and figure out a wing to put on it. And I think I might need longer wing mounts because it looks like I'm not sure if that wing will sit right in on top of the body or not, but I'd like to have a wing on it. But it should be fun. This body didn't fit too bad, really, considering I did have to cut out the ass end like that. So it'll be pretty neat. Oh, I'm sure I will, Joe. I'm sure I will. But yeah, so this one will be fun. We won't tie into that one today, only because that's a little bit much for today. That's a long project, that thing. So, but I did run this today. This is the Hot Bodies DB. I did take it out for a rip today, and it worked awesome. Now that I've got, so I did change the pipe because I wasn't happy with that low-C pipe. And I put a hyper pipe on it because I like the size and dimensions of it and stuff, so it should fit the tune better. And I took it out for a rip today, and it handles awesome and it runs fantastic now. The pipe is perfect for this engine. It seems to be right on the money for this engine's performance sweet spot. And it ran the tank out completely clean, which is what I like to see. And I did have one of the Savic servos. I was testing it on the weekend, and one of these Savic servos decided to die. I don't know why. It was the weirdest thing. It made it right back to me. Throttle response got lamer and lamer and lamer, and then it just quit. But at least it didn't run away. So I'm taking it as a win. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that Orion pipe yet, Joey. I think I might. I'm kind of waiting till to see if I get another Orion engine, and mate it with that. But I do have on that swap meet. I got quite a pile of pipes, and so we'll see. I've got to do some cleaning on them and some polishing and stuff, and see I want to buy I don't know if any of you guys have tried it or not, but I want to buy a powder coater and have that little pizza oven, and I want to powder coat them and put them in that little pizza oven and then bake them and then see if I can get what kind of coating I can get on them. And that way I can do different colors and things like that. And the powder coat should hold against the nitro fuel. So I'm hoping. Yeah, so that's my goal anyways. Hopefully, hey Smile, now it's alright. I missed you coming in there, buddy. So yeah, that way, like I said, if it works out well, then maybe I'll pick up a little tabletop sandblaster or something, and I can clear the coating off of. The reason I wanted to do that is I tried that simple green on them, and these old they're just a painted pipe. So this is an old, this was an S-Works pipe, well, still is, I guess, just the coating's gone for shit. But yeah, I put it in that simple green and let it sit there in the slow cooker, and that's the way it came out, and it basically just destroyed the coating. So I'm gonna have to recoat it somehow. Hey Bob. So yeah, so it'll be, this will be, like I said, some of these I'd love to see if I can recoat them, and then at least maybe I can color match the bodies and things like that if I can do powder coating on them, because it seems to be generally, as a rule of thumb, you either get them black or you get them chrome. So, and I know some of the Traxxas pipes are just powder coated; they're not anodized. So that gives me some hope that they'll hold up. So, and this is another pipe that I got the other day too. It's kind of interesting. It's an SH pipe, and it's actually stock, built purposely for the SH max torque. It says for the that P3, and so that should be neat. The other thing I did notice that I thought was interesting on the low-C pipe is the pressure port is facing the wrong way. Like, so it goes on like this, but then the pressure port faces forward instead of backwards, which is odd. So this is that low-C pipe. It's got a cool color to it. It's kind of a graduation, front to back. So that's kind of neat. This is the other one I got. It's a JP2. I love these pipes. I gotta get, again, it needs a little cleanup. But the anodizing on it's in really good shape. It's just dirty. And I pulled them all out of that simple green wash when they started pulling the paint off those non-anodized ones. So that should be fun. Yeah, and the low-C pipe is cool and all, but it's mostly built. That pipe looks like the dimensions of it looks like it's more of a truggy pipe than a buggy pipe, because it's way long, comes right out to the very tip here, and it just sat funny in there, and so I wanted to put an actual buggy pipe back on it, and I know that this Hyper pipe is more for the buggies. But I'll tell you, this thing handles really good. I had it out today. It's awesome. But so I did run that MGT the other day. For those of you that were here last week, I'm gonna show you this. So I was running that thing, and then it started making all kinds of weird noises and stuff. Look at this gear. This is a metal gear. So she's a snaggletooth now. So it just tore the teeth right off it. It's because there was a burr on the center shaft. So whoever had that transmission apart at some point must have tried to force something, but there was a burr on the center shaft, and this little pawl here is actually what locks it in forward, and it comes around and hits that pawl, and then that's what gives you your forward. So it wasn't fully engaging enough where it was actually snagging this pawl, and it would skip in and out like tick, 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 and then it just demolished it. Fortunately, I dug through my pile of shit and I had one. So, because these are impossible to find now. But that was my last spare. I have one spare left in my collection and that has one tooth chipped off it. But that's the only one I have left. So, other than my spare complete transmission, so. Yeah, so nevertheless, but so we'll probably run this one a little later. But I will say that MGT now works like a top. Like it is just a beast. It's probably one of the best idling performing 8.0s that I have. Like it idles perfect. I run 4 tanks of fuel through it. It ran great. I'm trying to be diplomatic, Joe. But yeah, so basically, like, those transmissions aren't complicated, but you've got to make sure that they shift into forward and they shift into reverse, because if they get into a kind of a semi-neutral state, that's exactly what happens. Because I've screwed that up before. I wish they made a reverse delete for that MGT transmission, because if something happens, it doesn't stay in forward or reverse. This is exactly, because I've done this myself before, so. Yeah, so you need to make sure that that goes all the way in one way and all the way out the other way. And then when it is engaged, that there's spring tension on there that holds that thing in, because there's a lot of torque on them MGTs and they just go for a crap. I saw your video, Joe, and that thing was just rocking. It's awesome. That's a good working 4.6. Kind of makes me wanna dust off one of the 4.6 ones, because I've been running so many of the 8.0s lately that I haven't run one of my 4.6 ones for a while. And I should take one of those out. All right, later, smiling now. Yeah, it handled good. Like, that's the one thing I will say with the MGT over the Savage, and please, you guys don't get mad at me, because I know everybody's a big fan of the Savages, but the MGTs, if they're set up right, they'll power slide, like and they'll like a buggy almost, and they stay super stable. Whereas the Savages get pretty tippy, and you spend a lot of time walking after them and standing them back up again. So they are a very solid platform. So, but yeah, no, this buggy itself, now that seems like I got most of the bugs worked out of it, is pretty dope. It's got nice big oversized shocks on it. It's pretty nice. So we'll take this for a rip in a little while. As long as the rain holds off, because it's pretty cool and shitty today outside. It was beautiful yesterday. It was 20 degrees here Celsius. It was gorgeous. But yeah, so this one will be an awesome one for later. You said the XL is stable as hell too? Yeah, mine's not bad, not with those big tires on it. It's pretty good. But I just don't have much luck with it, that's for sure. I love I'm partial to the MGT platform. Not that I'm bashing the Savage platform. I like the Savages too, don't get me wrong. I like them all. With the exception of a love-hate relationship with my Sand. Kind of like Joe does, but John does. But what did you guys want to, what did you want to fire up today and run? Do we want to run that MGT? Do you want to run something different? Because we ran that last week. We can run something else if you'd like. Dealer's choice. What do we want to run? Do you want to run a buggy or a truck? So I'm going to run that other one later. So let's run a truck. I'm just looking at my collection, trying to figure out what one to run. Let's run the aluminum princess there. Oh, Tyler, we're talking about powder coating tuned pipes. Now, I haven't run this one for a long time, so we'll see how it goes. I haven't fired this one up in a long time. You can see the dust on it. Mind you, I cleaned the shop the other day, so everything's a little bit dusty because I blew the floor off with air, so everything's got a little bit of dust on it. Sacrilege. That's better. You've never seen this one run? It's been a long time since I've run this one. I don't know what I'm going to find for one-way bearing issues or what, so we'll find out. Well, I'll tell you one thing, I left batteries in it and I left it on. So obviously all these batteries are junk. Okay, power on that. Gotta put a battery in there. This still has all the original AE servos and everything in it too. I think the last time I run this one was in the winter. She's a little springy. I think some of the oil might have drained out of the struts from sitting, but I didn't see any puddles over there. Oh, still turns over. Let's stick some fuel in it and see what happens. I bet you it's been well over a year since I've run this one. Like, I'm not joking, I bet you this thing's been sitting on that shelf for a year since I run it. Because I ran it, last time I ran it was in the snow, and I broke those little wave pieces off back here, and I never did replace them because it came up the snowbank and landed right on its ass end, and I broke it off. Hey John Paul, thanks for coming. Yeah, this thing's been sitting for a while. I don't run it that often because of all the aluminum that's on it. It's pretty fragile. The last time I ran this one, I took it to a bike park, and I took a bad tumble with it. It was a set of moguls, and it landed completely upside down, and it bent the strut towers right over, and yeah, I fucked it up pretty good. Hey Northeast. Ooh, you smell the dust on that thing from it sitting. Oh, promising. Hey Lotus, thanks for coming, buddy. Take it out in the street and see what it does. Looks like the rear end's off kilter a smidge. That one-way bearing's slipping a little bit. Looks like I got to reset that one rear wheel. I don't think she's shifting. There it is. Uh-oh. Guess I'm going to get it. Does not want to shift. That wheel's getting worse. We better take that back before that wheel falls off. Or lose that axle. not too bad for sitting for so long. I'll have a quick go at this. I'm just gonna shut the door. We can keep the heat. Hang on 2 seconds so I can plug this back in. There. All right. That seemed to run not too bad for something that's been sitting all that time. Obviously, I'll need to do some adjusting on the transmission. First, I got to figure out why this wheel was going all kitty. Oh, I see why. Wait, that's an easy fix. The pillow ball's walking out. That's 10 mil. Yeah, it's nice. It is very nice scenery here. I will say that it's a beautiful place to live. Yeah, that's why that's all kitty wampus like that. It's pretty easy to fix though. So these pillow balls, if they walk out, that's exactly what happens. Everything gets all, it pushes it out and then it pulls it over that way. So you usually gotta pull it, suck that back in. So one thing with the aluminum stuff, if you don't make sure everything is tight, it all walks out. There. Fixed. That was easy. Well, so on these, some of these aluminum ones, there's no, you don't put Loctite in them. There's actually a pinch screw that goes in and it pinches it's like a split collar and then it pinches the bolt. So it's actually really good because if you back that out, it threads out nice and easy. But if you don't tighten that pinch bolt good, the bolt walks in and out. So there, that one's fixed now. Now I just need to sort out the transmission, but I'll do that later. But it was running fantastic. The 4.6 is so good on fuel. Like I did all that and I only burned like less than a half a tank of fuel. And the 8.0 on the other hand is definitely a lot harder on fuel. I mean, unless you guys want to, we can do some tranny adjusting and see if we can get it. What do you guys want to do? No, I've never put one on the balancer back there. I don't know if it would read a tire that small, to be honest with you. Because I live in the middle of nowhere, I have a tire machine and balancer, so I can do my own tires and wheels here, because there's no, it takes forever to get into a shop to get anything done. I did make a little, I have put RC tires on my motorcycle balancer. No, I think, Joey, I think it's got a one-way that's dirty in the transmission, that's all. But it seems to be pretty good now. Once it was running a little bit, it was good. It's holding now. There's a one-way bearing inside the transmission. If they sit for a long time, that gets kind of gross, and then it'll slip. Yeah, and once you run them for a little while, they clear up like yours did. So, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to do some adjusting on the transmission, or should we run something else? Well, Tyler, I'm a heavy equipment mechanic, and I work at the, I'm supervisor now. Well, actually a maintenance planner, but I have been a mechanic for many years, and I'm a heavy equipment mechanic and a motorcycle mechanic and a millwright. So I've done quite a bit of wrenching on pretty much anything and everything at this point in my career. And I've always been into the RC hobby since I was a kid, and then I got out of it for a number of years. And then now I'm back into it again. Yeah, and I love this hobby, and just the intricacies around it, and just the general love of the tinkering part of it. That's why I won't go with electric. So. All right, John. We know you won't reply. I know you'll be listening, but let's see where that set point's set to then. I'll grab my flashlight so I can see that screw. So I can never see that screw with the flashlight. I have one little tiny screwdriver that I use for this specifically. Doesn't want to really let me on there. I know it's bottomed right out, so that means that it's too tight, but it'll only let me turn it in one direction, so this screw is a little bit jacked up. Yes, I do work at a coal mine. Can't seem to grab that. Doesn't feel right in there. That's what she said. Can't tell if that turned out or not. I decided I should just pull that transmission out. Have a look inside. Oh, the headlamp? Yeah, I love headlamps. I use them quite. I find otherwise you end up trying to hold things and do things at the same time. I hope it doesn't blind you guys. I don't know what that was all about. This second speed screw does not want to let me put a tool on it. I may have to pull that transmission apart. Interesting. Where did I put my hat? There. So what do you guys want to do? You want to pull this tranny out, or should we move on to the next one and I'll do this later? Takes no time to pull the transmission out. Yeah, I know. It's kind of funny, hey Joe? It's kind of ironic. pretty quick to pull the transmission out and apart. Oh, anytime, Joe. Let's give her a quick pull apart and see what we got going on. Let's do it. See how fast I can do this. A little more challenging when they have this stupid plastic guard on here. Most people remove these. I think I'm gonna have to pull that stupid fuel tank out. Because that plastic guard. Man, that stupid guard is a pain in the ass. Most of mine don't have this anymore. I gotta pull a roll bar too. Jeez Louise. Yeah. All right. I'll give that, put that over here for now. I know it won't be going back into this plastic guard. But who knows what I'll find when I pull this transmission apart either. Hey Joey, this has those same style, this has that same style screw pin design. Okay, so if you pull it, like I said, when you pull the MGT transmission out, the axles will lay straight down. That's the purpose of that cutout here. And then you can pull it straight up. To provided it doesn't have this stupid plastic guard on there. So let's see what we got going on inside here. Something's hooey there. Sometimes I pull this transmission out just to clean these, because there's a belly in there that you can never get clean with the transmission in there. See, that's that gear that blew up on the other one. That's why I said it's super important to make sure that it's super important to make sure that shifter is all the way up, because you can see where that comes up and down there, and you can see where that pawl comes around and grabs that pin. But if it's down, see how it misses it? So, and then what happens is this kind of skips just ever so slightly. It'll skip over top of it, and that's what you'll hear. So, and then there's your 2-speed cluster. And then there's a one-way bearing in here, right in this gear. So let's have a look here. We'll pull this apart. It does not want to come up. Oh, I can hear the shoe come out, but I think it was always in second. It's so sprung so light. See? Something's not right there. This second gear, this cluster doesn't want to come up either. Hey RPM, you on here? I take that spur gear guard off just because it's a pain in the ass. There's the shaft. So then this is your cluster. This is your second gear. This is your pawl for your second. It sits in top here. Just needs a good cleaning for sure. Oh, the set screw is gone. It's gone. It's not even in there. That would be why there's no spring tension. Spring's still in there, but the set screw has left the building. I wonder if it's in here somewhere. The only thing that's nice, Joe, about leaving that on there is that it does give you the option. You don't have to worry about the fuel lines getting sucked into it. I wonder where that set screw is. Oh, there it is. It fell out of the goo. Okay. Let's see. There. A little bit of spring tension there. That should fix that. No, it's not broken. It just walked out. So what happens with these transmissions is people get so far one way trying to adjust second gear that they get it unscrewed so far that it hooks the little housing as it comes around, and then it rips the set screw right out, and it'll, if you're lucky, it gets stuck in there, and that's exactly what happened with this one. But while I got this out, I might as well give this a bit of a clean, because this one-way bearing in here was obviously not very good. So, and then always give this little shaft here a bit of a scuff with some emery or some sandpaper, just to give it some griptivity. Just till you take the glaze off. You don't want to. It's just some 400 grit. You don't want to take a lot out of it. You just want to take the shine. And then that one-way bearing in that cluster in there is pretty gooey, because people feel the need to grease these transmissions, and you don't need to. Blow out with some air. Anybody that's watched my videos for a long time, the one-way bearings are super duper universal. So the one-way bearing that's in this transmission is actually the same one-way bearing that's on the roto start and the one-way bearings in like an HPI or anything else. It's all the same. So you can knock these out and use the same bearing. Have a look and see if there's a flat spot on this shaft. Nope. Some of these older ones, some of them had a flat spot where it gripped this where it gripped that set screw gripped that. So you got one set screw that's an angle and one set screw that's straight. And the straight set screw grips that shaft on that flat spot. And if you get that wrong, it'll slip. There. There, nice and, see that one way grips nicely. Hey, Raw. There. So that now is a repaired 2-speed cluster for that. That's all cleaned up. Now I might as well give this gear case a bit of a wipe out. Somebody filled it full of lithium grease. There. At least it didn't take any gears out this time. There. Look at that. Nice. This side of that of the transmission is a bit of a bitch to take apart, this end, but it's very seldom do you ever have to pull that piece apart. It's usually always in this other side. I'm getting ahead of myself. And there's a cross shaft, so this has to go down inside there, and then it has to line up with the cross. That's why I say to people that you're best to pull this apart horizontally, like this. Because you gotta, or vertically I should say, sorry, not horizontally. There, because you gotta get that shaft into that cross in an intermediate gear down here. And then you can set this top down on here, like that. And make sure that the case goes together flush without forcing it. Because if it doesn't, that means you're not in that cross. And obviously, so if you pull the other drive shaft off, you have to get the case apart. But always, you don't have to pull the brake end apart. But if for some reason you do pull the brake end apart, there's a little brass puck in here. Watch that; it will fall out, and you'll lose it, and it'll make a bad day. And you'll be like, yeah, that's right. You're not wrong. The rubber screw doesn't go all the way through, it just pinches the shaft. And the other thing is people screw up all the time is there's two screws there. One's on an angle and one's straight. So be careful that you don't back the wrong one off trying to adjust the 2-speed. So now before I put this stupid thing back in, I'm going to take this GD guard off. this thing comes off now. There it is. One screw. It's quite often, Raw, you get these with shifting issues because people just don't understand them. There. Nice. This thing here, that can go back there for now. There. Now, we'll put the truck back together. Well, first things first, put the drive shaft back on. No, Tyler, my neighbors are awesome. You know, like I have had it where I haven't been out much for a while, and my neighbors will actually ask me if I'm okay. They love my little RC cars, and the little kids are next door and whatnot. They come out in the summertime and they'll sit on the yards, or they'll chase the RC trucks around, or you know, and then I'll chase them around. And I have no problems with my neighbors. They're wonderful. That's, you know, like, and but in the same respect, because we live in a little tiny town, they're used to two-stroke dirt bikes running around town. Town here, you're legally allowed to drive quads and snowmobiles up and down the street. So that, you know, that's a thing that happens. So that happens quite often. And, you know, it's Mr. Screw. So they're used to it. Oof. Dirty like I was working on a car. Hey, one repaired transmission. Truck. This is actually a really good repair. I'm glad that I could do that with you guys, because it's not something you see every day for sure. Oh yeah, we get winter a lot of the season here, Tyler. Like we get like 6 months of winter, 8 months of winter, and then a quick blip of summer, and then that's about it. So if I didn't run my RC cars in the wintertime, like some people are like, how do you run your RCs in the winter? I'm like, man, if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to drive them at all. Like, it'd be just, I would never get to enjoy them. The trickiest part with this is putting the drive shafts back in after when you're putting everything back together. You kind of hold your tongue the right way. And if your chassis is a little bent, it gets even funner. Look at that. So I should have turned that so you could see that, but yeah, you just wiggle the transmission back and forth, and you'll get. I always put the not that screw. Put the front drive shaft in first, always, or you'll fight it more. So you put the rear drive shaft in first. The front one will give you a grief. So put the front one in first, then do the rear. Where's my screwdriver? There. And then once you get one screw in, it's just a matter of pounding screws back in the holes. Have I run the OG 4.6 at all? Like, do you mean the, this is a 4.6 one, but you mean my original MG 4.6 this year yet? Joe, is that the one you're referring to? Yeah, and I will say that a lot of these trucks, people felt the urge to grease the transmissions, and then when you go to fire them up, the transmission won't shift worth a shit until that everything, all that schmoo in the transmission becomes lubricant again. Like, so it's like you're waiting for the engine to warm up, and then meanwhile it's just all that shit in the transmission that people painted in there. Oh, you're asking Rob, sorry. So you just have a whole slew of bolts or screws. There's 8 of them that go across the bottom that go into the transmission that way. That's what I'm doing there. You can't quite see what I'm doing, but it's not very exciting. Like Luke always says, who wants to watch people put screws in, but I figured this was a good example of real time. And the nice thing is, it doesn't screw up your mesh. So, now put the fuel tank screws back in. Normally you never have to pull that fuel tank out, but because that plastic guard was on there, it didn't give you enough room. I missed the hole. Have I ever made shock caps for these shocks in particular? Like these are, I think these are Energy shocks, to be honest with you, that are on this thing. The originals on this one are gone, but I have used T-Max shocks on these MGTs, and they do fit. Because my parts MGT that I refer to has T-Max shocks on it. No, these aren't stock. These are energy shocks, but the original, I can show you what the difference is. Just give me a minute to finish this here. There. There. I have put one of mine. I put regular caps in it. This one here, these are kind of cool. You can actually unscrew these little tops and top the oil up without pulling the shock off. So it's kind of neat that way. There. Oh, roll bar. Put that back in. Better put that back in. Okay. This thing is always such a bitch to put back in. Not gonna lie. Because it gets squished from rollovers. Then it never wants to go back in. Ouch. One side. Oop. Somebody put an aftermarket screw in there. All right, Joey, talk to you later, buddy. Thanks for coming. Come on, bugger. I want to get that screw back out so I can get that mount back in there. But somebody's crammed that bigger screw in that hole. And now it doesn't want to come back out of the hole. Got it. There. Mount back. That was a pain in the ass. Okay. it's tight. It doesn't feel tight to me. There it is now. There. That's good. Yeah, I'll grab some. I think I got some broken MGT shocks here somewhere. So yeah, these are those MGT shocks. Here they're a very specific cap, but I think you can actually take these and unscrew them and put a regular shock cap on them, like from a T-Max or something, and get rid of this little fake reservoir that doesn't do shit anyway. So like just take a regular shock like that. There. I think you'd have to use buggy ones because they're bigger. I think the T-Max ones would not work because the shock is too wimpy. Like that buggy one or whatever, Rob. Okay, what do you think? Should we try it? After all that? Then if it doesn't work, we're going to be all sad, or at least I will be anyway. See how close my shift point is, I guess. That was a wild guess. It was a guesstimation. Obviously my fuel tank doesn't leak because I had that thing upside down 3 ways from Sunday, and it didn't fuck up, so it didn't leak on the vent. Let's see what we get. Figured she was going to be cold. I think I need more road. Snow's looks like we're going to get some snow. Oh, dude. Still no shift. It is shifting, it's just very quiet. Yeah, it's shifting right away. That engine's working good though. Oh, we'll run out of fuel. There. There, not bad. It is shifting, but it's really hard to hear. I think it could probably use a little bit more in. But it's pretty good. I would consider that successful. And it wasn't having that false neutral anymore either. Yeah, I think it needs a little bit of a tweak. I probably tightened it up a little bit too much, or it didn't quite tighten it enough, which is pretty common. But it seems to work not too bad. I'm pretty happy with it. This old engine works pretty good though. I've got to admit. Yeah, I think I'd give it just a bit more because I think it's shifting really early. But man, I'll tell you, you've got some poop. For not running that for that long, that thing sure, the engine sure ran well. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Just get the body back on, then we can carry on with something else. And what do I do with all the body clips? Hey Osborne, thanks for coming. You must have took a bad landing again because it seems like this rear pin is in the wrong spot. I didn't roll it hard or anything. It doesn't seem to want to line up right now. Yeah, that's bent again. I didn't even think I rolled it hard. These strut towers, I swear, are made of butter. I must have hit it out there somewhere. That's what I mean. This aluminum stuff is good and all, but my God, it bends so easy. And then shit doesn't line up again. There. See? Perfect. Everybody loves that aluminum stuff, but that's why I call this the aluminum princess. Just because it's kind of a pain in the ass. There. I'm pretty happy with that. For something I haven't run in a long time, that worked out really well. It didn't even hardly get that dirty. That one. Okay. Now, what do you guys want to run now? You want to run that buggy? Or should we're started we're not even 2 hours in yet. We're good. Neither's good. All right, Tyler. I have to do some work to this starter box. This buggy sits so low in this starter box that unless I make an air gap, it stalls it all the time. Hey Michael, did you just come in, buddy? I didn't see you earlier. A little bit of the 30%. Okay. This is Hot Bodies D815 with a Protec Nova Euro LS5. I just wanted to give it a little bit of heat before I barked her up. Little igniter. I guess I shut the box on. Almost lost you guys. Handles so good, this buggy. It's a Hot Bodies D815 with a Protect 21 in it. There's something stuck in my brake. Something went hooey there with my brake for a second. It's starting to rain. Let's go back and have a look. I think my servo horn might have skipped a tooth. It seemed a little funny there. It just started dragging the brake all of a sudden. So let's go back and have a quick boo. I'd rather that than a runaway. See what we got. You guys still with me? Quick look before I turn the radio off even. I got something wound into that throttle rod for the brake. That's what happened there, and it just got stuck. That would explain that. Something must have happened there with this throttle horn. because something's not right. Because it wasn't set like that before. Ow, whew, that's hot. There it is. It did slip on that servo horn. Saw it. I'm going to lift that up and reset that. That's why I don't like this radio in particular, because it doesn't, I can't set the endpoints on the throttle linkage, and I don't have a receiver for my other one till tomorrow. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to back that off a smidge more because I don't want it bottoming out, because it's going to strip that servo horn before I get the other throttle radio. Perfect. It looks goofy, but it works. Oh, the servo horn might be fucked. I think it is. I think she's shot. I think we're gonna have to change it. I've seen it slip twice now, so she's done. I'm gonna have to dig through my shit to try and find another servo horn, because this one is turning on the shaft. Dang, that sucks. Now I gotta see if I can find one. This one doesn't look like anything special, so it shouldn't be hard to find, but that sucks. Oh well. What do you do? I haven't had a runaway for a long time either, Michael, and I hope I don't have one anytime soon. I haven't had one for probably a year or so, but they do happen, and they happen to the best of us. So it just sucks. That's all. It's a nice way to put that. At least this one doesn't look like anything special for a servo horn. Whereas some of these buggies, oh, I just heard that bushing fall in there. I said some of these buggies can be a bit of a bitch. I gotta find that bushing. There it is. Hey, all aspects. Thanks for coming, buddy. Let's see if we can find a servo horn. I'm gonna work on this now. Doesn't look like anything special. That should work. I drill those holes out there. I'm just going to trim that off. There. I think these bushings are threaded. That's cool. Maybe I just put the wrong screw in there though. Yep, that's the brake screw. You took the nitros last for a rip? Sweet. I hate this fiddly stuff with the little tiny servos and these screws and things like that. Sometimes this stuff gets a bit of a pain, but it needs to be done. Mind you, I just said fucking 20 minutes ago that I like the fiddly stuff, so I know, make up my mind, right? There's that one. The stuff you learn about this stuff as you take stuff apart, these bushings are actually threaded, So to make things easier, the hot bodies decided that they thread these bushings so you can thread them on here without the nut on, and then you can drop the linkage over top of it. It's pretty smart, really. And now you can put the servo horn on. Just drop the linkages over top of it. Just like that. Should have made that tighter. Well, now she's pissing out. There. Perfect. Fixed. Yeah, they just stripped the guts right out of that servo horn. That's crazy. That's Garibaldi now. There. I'm glad we finished when we did. Skies just opened up. I knew it was coming. You can always see it coming from the other end of the valley. Whoa. Sit my ass down for a minute. There. I think this was pretty successful. I run it a few times this morning and I never had that happen. But like I said, this radio is not my favorite. It's just a cheap tantric radio. But it's, and I can't set the endpoints on it. So I'm getting a new receiver for my other radio, and it'll be here tomorrow. So I'll convert this over to the new style, and then it'll be good. But in the short term, so. Brakes are good, throttle's good. There. Works pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. What do you guys think of the buggy? Like this is my eBay purchase that I did not that long ago. So it took forever to come in. It came all the way from North Carolina. It took forever to come to me from there. And yeah, it took. I swear I got stuff from England that was quicker. So I'm pretty happy with it. Really, it's I really like this Nova engine. It tunes easy, seems to hold the tune nicely. I did change the pipe to the hyper pipe. I did take the original, the low C pipe that was on it off because the set screw on the end was stripped, and it just looked shitty, so I put this hyper pipe on. But yeah, seems to work pretty decent now. I'll drain the fuel out of it and then prep it for next week. And which pipe is it? This one that's on here now? Texas? This is a Hyper Extra 2050. So that's what's on there now. The one that was on it was a low C pipe, and it was longer and fatter. So it seemed to, I'm pretty happy with it. Like I said, it seems to be a really well built. This is my first, well, I have an old Hot Bodies Lightning, but this is my first of the newer, when Hot Bodies went away from HPI. So this is one of mine. This is the only newer Hot Bodies that I have, and it's a pretty nice rig. I'm pretty happy with it. I got to pull the fuel out of it now. I always pull the fuel out of everything. I never leave fuel with anything. Probably. I know some people will leave stuff in there, but I'll come out here and I'll forget what I run, and then I'll grab something else, and then I forget that it had fuel in it, and then I put it up on the shelf. So I make it a habit now to pull the fuel out of everything. There. Put this over on the clean table. What do you guys think of this before I shut it down for the day? So I tried this just for shits and giggles. So this is a pipe that was all peeled and was all shitty. So I sanded it all off and cleaned it up nicely, sanded it with some 2000 grit and the buffer wheel. And that's high heat barbecue paint. And it actually doesn't look too bad. This is a Sportworks pipe. And it's just got a nice thick coat of that high heat, high temperature barbecue paint. And it actually seemed to turn out not too bad. So I'll see how that holds up and see what it does. But it seems it looks pretty decent. So I'll heat treat that later. Put it in my little oven. Bring it up to temperature. Give it a bit of a bake. Then we'll go from there. But yeah, no, my bench is a mess, but it was a great. I think it was a good live. What do you guys think? I think we'll probably end her here shortly, and because gotta go in and try and make some shit and get ready for the work week and whatnot, and spend some time with my puppers. So, if there's anything you guys ever want to see or anything you need need advice on, or want to see an example of something, I have quite a few RC cars, obviously. So if you guys need me to pull something apart, or for the subject of a live or something, you let me know, and we can make it a topic. We can pull it apart. We can figure shit out together. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming, and I really appreciate it. And everybody have a great rest of your Sunday. And thanks for coming. And I'll be back again next week. So everybody have a wonderful week. I will chat to you guys next week. Take care.